It could very well be that sticking tiny little seashells to a clock or a picture frame, or perhaps making a tea cozy out of them, that could be your masterpiece. How's that for some ambition, baby? G'day, mate, and how the bloody hell are you? Welcome to In the Back of My Head podcast, episode 81. It's a creative journal. I rant and ramble about creativity. Whatever's in the back of my head, I'm trying to unclog some arteries. I'm trying to clear some airways, trying to remove some static, trying to make some sense of whatever's rattling around in my head. Whatever is holding me back, unraveling some things. More importantly, unlearning some things that I was either told or that I have told myself time and time again, and internalized those things. They became part of who I am, especially as a creative. It's funny how a simple phrase, a simple bit of advice given to you as a small child can really have enormous ramifications for how you see the world and how you see yourself and how you move and operate in this world. I feel like I've really been on a theme as of late over the past 5 or so episodes, maybe for this entire podcast and its existence. Have I been on the theme of coming to terms with something, coming to terms with an understanding, a realization that perhaps something that I thought I had, that I thought was pushing me forward, is not actually present, and maybe I never had it, and that's ambition. This could be, and in fact it's high chances that this could be in fact cope. I might just be coping with the fact that I'm 31, which I wish that had less of an impact on my mind, but I guess I've always pictured myself as a small boy just trying to make his way, trying to figure it out. I'm still just figuring it out. And you have some ideas for yourself when you're a small boy, and then you finally find yourself at a place in time where you thought things would be a little different by this point. And they're not. They're the same, and that's fine. So this could be copium. This could be enormous amounts of copium. High chances for that. So if it is that, my apologies. Maybe this is all fucking nothing. Waste of your time, waste of mine. But I was very fortunate when I was young to work in a music shop with me mum. She owned the place. Well, she ran the place. She wasn't the benefactor. She wasn't the owner. She ran the joint, as only me mum could. And I was very fortunate that I got to get some cheap instruments, have access to a studio out back. It was a bloody good time. It also involved a lot of tuning of guitars, a lot of dusting of guitars, and a lot of selling terrible guitars to small tiny boys and girls and their dumb ass parents who are like, this hunk of junk that's going to cost me $50, my kid's going to learn guitar on that thing. And I'm like, they're not. Their tiny little fingers can't access the width of the frets that they need. And this guitar's only going to last them a few weeks. You got to get them something, put a couple $100 into it. And they said, nope. God, I sold a lot of ukuleles as well. Fucking waste of time. Anyway, I was standing at the counter one day next to me mum, and this guy, I can't remember what his deal was, if he was a friend of my mum's, if he was just a customer. I think he was a regular though. He was in quite a lot, I'm pretty sure. This is gonna sound, that's making it sound like he became a second dad. I can't remember what his deal was. Maybe he was a music teacher. I think he might have been a music teacher that taught out back. And he asked me, what am I doing? Where am I headed? He knew I was a musician, so he said, where are you headed, mate? Like, what are you doing? What's your dreams? What's your ambition? And I said, I want to be the next Green Day. But then, as a true Aussie, I said, but I never could. Couldn't be me. That tall puppy syndrome. Or also just the anxiety of a small boy. And then he was like, mate, if you don't dream big, you'll never make it. And whoops, that was like a punch to the little boy's face. This man just hit a boy with a fact. with some advice at least. It's not a fact. But he just assaulted this small child with this unsolicited advice. He had no idea. He thought he was doing a good thing, and maybe he was. It's hard to say the true ramifications of those moments, but nonetheless, there I was, bloodied and bludgeoned by this assault of wisdom. And I was like, oh shit, yeah, you're right. Holy hell. All right. And big dreams, go. And I just accepted that idea that I was like, okay, I think I should be the next Green Day. Or the next White Stripes. The next Tom York. What have you? Pick a person and try and be the next one. And then I think because I had that then solidified in my brain for so long, like I knew from a very young age, I've never had a backup plan. I've never had anything else in my head of like, oh, I might do that, or I'm going to try this. I'm just like, I've tried a lot of things, but ever since I was like, I think 15, I've always just known in the heart of hearts that, no, I'm going to be a successful musician. Success, however, was measured, I guess, in terms of fandom, in terms of monetary, success, in terms of just, sheer size of impact and audience. To be on the cover of a Rolling Stone, I mean, who is that magazine even still a thing? I haven't read that in 10 years. And I think over the last little while, I've started to come to grips with the fact that I have a lot of drive. I think people see that. I think for me to make stuff is effortless in many regard. But I don't think I ever had ambition. I certainly don't have it now. And I'm really starting to think I never actually had ambition. Because I think ambition is almost being single-minded, being blinded almost to other external ideas, pathways. It's having a clear goal. I'm gonna do that. It involves a lot of sacrifice. It involves being uncomfortable. It involves dedicating yourself to this one idea and pursuing it no matter the cost. Whereas I think drive is getting up to go for a run. Drive is picking up the guitar and giving it a tinker. Drive is just putting stuff out, just doing the work. Drive is the everyday. And without drive, the ambition is useless. And in fact, I would argue crippling. Where the opposite is also true though. Without ambition, drive can feel a little bit pointless, at least in the way that we are kind of told how we have to pursue these things. So I think I've got drive. Making stuff and putting it out there, regardless of the quality, is as effortless as breathing to me. It's the only thing that I know. It's funny, like, I really struggle to exercise. I really struggle to get up and actually just move my body. As soon as there is some strain, I'm like, this sucks, I hate it, I can't do it anymore. And then I know others who love that shit, who almost get addicted. Or at least it's like breathing. It's kind of effortless for them to just throw themselves into a thing. Now, obviously, they would probably say otherwise. They would probably say like, no, it is a struggle. It is a struggle. But, in comparison to, same for me. Creativity comes fucking piss easy. And now, to me, I have so many bad days, and I have so many days where I'm like, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to do it, and I really struggle. And then, externally, people go, man, look at this guy. He's doing a bunch of stuff. He just finds it easy to do a bunch of stuff, and it's true, I do. But the ambition of something grander. I have dreams, but I think dreams and ambition are also two different things, because dreams are fleeting, dreams are fluffy, dreams are transparent and you can't really touch them. Ambition is like a real tangible goal, that I'm going to do this thing, no question, no doubts. A clear vision, a clear path laid out before you. Even if that path changes and weaves, you have that end point that you're heading towards. And I don't know if I ever had that. This could be due to also just me being scattered, throwing myself into loads of different, creative outlets. It could be a lack of faith in myself, a faith in one's self. or a real sense of purpose. Like, do I feel like my purpose is at that pinnacle of achievement, whatever that achievement looks like for me or for you? Do I see myself up there? Do I think my purpose is to be up there? Do I think I deserve that? And again, do I have that blind faith? Do I actually believe in myself to achieve that kind of thing? And then when I actually think about what I like, what I need out of my days and out of my life, I have been talking about this a lot over the past few episodes, about this particular space. And it could be this space, could be any space, but it's a space. It's a space to just work. It's a space to give yourself space. It's a space to sit and procrastinate. It's a space to live a very slow, observant, relaxed life. And I think that's what I've always wanted. And in fact, when I did think of that when I was younger, I thought of this when I was younger quite a lot, of just the idea like, okay, if I actually had success, what would I want? Like, what would I want with fame and fortune? And I always thought, like, I actually would just want to use it to make better work, to make bigger work, to have access to more people, have access to more equipment, yada, yada, yada. But then I look around and just go, holy shit, this is all so easy. I kind of have everything. I have incredible creative friends who I can work with. I have incredible creative tools at my disposal because of the times that we live in. And so kind of the ambition to go and achieve those things because those things were once unattainable kind of now seems pointless because I have kind of everything. And again, this could be copium. This could be me coping that maybe I didn't put in enough work to be in the place that I want to be. But I think looking back, and the whole point of this episode is that duality, that understanding of like, I don't know if I ever had the ambition to actually pursue something bigger than this. I don't know if I actually ever did. Because if I did, I've got the drive. And so if I had a clear vision of where I was headed to, then maybe it would have happened. But the fact that I'm here kind of indicates maybe, yeah, it was never me. Coming to grips with that. In an optimistic way as well, though. Like, well then, I would keep doing this. And it's bloody brilliant. And it's going to keep going up. It's going to go up. I'm going to get better every day, a bigger audience every day, even if it's one person per month or per year. Even if one other person goes, oh, yeah, this stuff's pretty cool, man. I'll be like, well, hey, that's better than when I was 15. But just as having that ambition without drive is going to get you nowhere, I also have started to feel, I think what is actually happening in my brain is a sense that without ambition is this drive meaningless. Where is your ambition, mate? You have to have ambition. In many ways, in the way that we live our lives and the society that we live in currently, we're kind of bombarded with the idea that you have to fight. You have to fight in this world. You have to fight for yours. You have to go get yours. You have to work hard. You have to sacrifice. You have to take it. Whatever you want, whatever your ambition is, first of all, find your ambition and then go and take what is rightfully yours. I might be exaggerating. I might be reading into this too much, but do you disagree? Did you ever have a parent tell you that mate, the world's going to try and fuck you? And you got to fight it. You got to fight it at every turn. Or if you're a creative and you're seeing people putting out their stuff on Instagram or YouTube or what have you, then you are almost certainly bombarded by content that is telling you how to get your stuff out there and to how to be successful. And it's always, you need to go out there and demand attention. You have to go and fight for every second of the spotlight. Otherwise, you're never going to get anywhere, mate. And what's the point, huh? Then you're just a failed musician. And what's a failed musician? Where's your ambition, mate? I was asked by a concierge the other day at a job that I've just left. Small life update. I've just left hospitality. I'll be back. Hospitality is one of those jobs where it's always got its claws in you, so you'll be back. But I'm working an office job, which is just wild to me. I look forward to new discoveries in that space. But I was working at a cafe in a lobby at the base of an office building, and the concierge, we were quite friendly with each other. We had a few, small little chats, and he asked me one day, because I kind of told him, I only do so many hours, and I'm a musician. And he's like, oh, sweet. And he said, what's your dream? And I responded with, I don't really have a dream. I don't really have like a goal or a plan or ambition. I don't really have a dream. He said, well, he seemed quite and genuinely annoyed at me. He said, you have to have a plan, mate. He was French, but I'm not going to do the accent. But it was that added something to it. But he said, mate, you have to have a plan. You have to be ambitious. You have to have a dream. You got to have a dream, man. Otherwise, where are you going to go? You're not going to go anywhere. You're never going to go anywhere. Said the concierge to the lowly barista. Like, we're both at the bottom, mate. We're both just hanging out. How about we fucking lay off a little bit, mate? But I feel like this is bigger than art. That's because he's not talking about being an artist. He's talking about he's got that locked into his brain, and he's not the first to say something like that to me or to you or to anyone else. We all say this shit to each other. We all repeat these phrases, but that's something bigger than just being an artist. He's saying that we live in a society that demands you fight, demands that you hustle every single fucking day to get what's yours. And I reject that. I absolutely reject that. For most of human history, we have lived communally. We've lived as a group. We live as a community. I reject the idea that we must live in a society that demands individual ambition in that way. Just so you can get somewhere. Make something of yourself. It's very individualistic. It's a very bleak outlook as well. It's a very bleak and depressing outlook on life. It's that attitude of you must fight, and you must have a plan, and you must go and get what's yours. I'm lucky that I had my dad in my ear when I was younger, him telling me like, man, just hang out, just chill, man. Just live life and see what happens. Don't worry about it. He always said to me, in his 50s and beyond, of just like, I don't know. I still don't know what I'm going to be when I grow up. I feel like I was very lucky to have that voice in my ear. At the same time as I would have, we would have conflicting theories and ideas put into your young brain, telling you how you must live your life, how you must pursue these things. I'm very glad that I had that countering this, but it's still a duality inside me. It's still something I'm kind of coming to grips with, because I don't really believe that you have to go anywhere or be anything or be anyone or change the world or shift the way that the world spins on its axis. There's this man in Fitzroy that I met through our poetry night called Paul, and he's an older gentleman. I don't know how old he is, but I would take a stab at 60 plus, easy. And he's lived in Fitzroy his entire life, and he's got tales of Fitzroy, and he lives in public housing. He lives in the public housing flats, and these enormous towers. They look like commie buildings, really. And inside, in his apartment, because I've seen photos of it, he's posted it on Instagram, of just his entire apartment is his studio. And he is not a renowned artist. He is not a financially successful artist in any means. I've talked to him about his financial situation. It is rough. But he just goes around the streets of Fitzroy. He just walks the streets of Fitzroy, stopping into bars, getting to know the locals, and he draws and he paints. He came to our poetry night and he would just paint the poets as they were on stage, and he would come to us at the end and just hand us all these amazing drawings and go, here, I did these for you. That's brilliant. So we put him in our book, in fact. So there's all these illustrations by Pol that has lived in Fitzroy his entire life, and he drew these little pictures of the poets, and we put those in the book, and it was bloody beautiful. And I find Pol's story and just existence incredibly inspiring, because he's just hanging out, living life, just existing in the community of Fitzroy, and it's humbling, and it's honest. It's very honest, and I think you're allowed to just live, to just exist, not to get too onto this side of things, but this is just the darkest side, I think, of capitalism, especially late stage capitalism, that I want to rally against at every turn, is that individualism, is that lack of community, is that teaching us, by the way that the system is run, that you have to fight at every turn in order to get somewhere in life. Because you need people fighting at the bottom. You need the people fighting at the bottom. You need there to be a risk of homelessness, food insecurity, all that, so that the capitalists have an exploitable labor force. And I know that might sound like I'm kind of reaching, but I think that is entwined into every way that we teach ourselves about how we actually must pursue things in life. Everything must be a side hustle. Everything must be turned into money. Nothing can really exist just as a hobby. Now, obviously, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but how many times have you done something, you've woven some baskets, and people tell you, mate, you should sell those and make it? No. You can't have people work together and live humbly. That doesn't generate money. That doesn't generate capital. To just simply exist is completely antithetical to the existence of capitalism. Is everyone's chilling? If everyone has no sense of upwards mobility, or they must have the bigger thing, the better thing, the bigger house, then if everyone's chilling and living comfortably, then they're not going to take your shitty wages for a shitty job. I think we saw a lot of that during COVID, of people realizing that, like, whoa, I really like this slow life, and I would really like to live my life this way, and to be able to afford to live my life this way. Just doing a humble job, like a barista, or working in a library, even the bloody humble trash man or she going out there and collecting the trash is a very important role. Imagine if that actually just paid properly, and that you could feed your family and have a house, own a house on those wages. I think a lot of people want that, and we're kind of told that we're not. I think this is, you see where my mind is in two places. That's the dissonance. As I think you're told you're not supposed to like that. You're not supposed to be happy with that. You go, yeah, but where are you headed next, mate? Where's your ambition? I'm not against ambition. I want to say that though as well, that I'm not against ambition. I really enjoy a lofty dream, and I really enjoy those who have the energy to make that come true. I love human hubris. I love hubris. Oh, I love hubris. I love looking at the stars and thinking, no fucking dramas, mate. We'll go there. We'll strap a fucking bunch of explosives to our feet and up we go. I love that. It's so ridiculous that we have the hubris to do that. Or that we can look at giant chasms and think, yeah, we'll span that with a bridge. Don't worry about it. A couple of months, we'll have that up. No worries. Oh, I love that ambition. I love that collective ambition. And I love the ambition of incredible artists who just dedicate themselves, and who are single-minded, who are almost blind to other paths. They live to do this one thing. Actually, it's a beautiful thing. But then we compare ourselves to those people and we think, oh, I don't have that ambition. So what am I doing? And I think, again, as the lack of drive will kill your ambition. A lack of ambition can also kill your drive, because you think that like, I haven't got a goal, I haven't got a vision, I haven't got a path, I haven't got, where am I going, what am I doing? Doesn't matter, mate. You don't need to be doing anything or becoming anything or going anywhere. You just... Small goals. Small goals. Finish the next project. That's your ambition. Practice today. That's your ambition. Go for a run this morning. That's your ambition. That's enough. That's more than enough, mate. Write a little tune and send it to your mates. Send it to your friends. That's more than enough ambition. You don't need to go bigger than that. You don't need to be greater than that. There's nowhere else to go. You could stick some shells. Stick some shells on a clock or a picture frame, or make a tea cozy out of them and sell them. No, don't sell them. Just give them out. You might have a little shop though. Why not? You have a little shop by the seaside and you gather shells and you stick them onto things and you go, that's good. That's good. That's me. That's my little life. I think a lot of the things we say to ourselves and to others is just us coping, hoping that we have chosen the correct path, hoping that we are, living our lives as we should. Or we're also down on ourselves. We could be down on ourselves. We're thinking, I didn't do the thing. I didn't do the thing, and so you should make sure you do that. Don't make the same mistakes that I did, mate. Or more commonly, I think we're just repeating ourselves. We're just repeating things that others have said to us, that we've heard, that we've bombarded with our entire lives, that you must have a plan or drive. The world's in turmoil, mate. Having a plan right now seems almost absurd, but like, having a plan is not a bad thing. But I also think not having a plan is also not a bad thing. Two different ways of living your little existence, your short little existence. It's funny to like have those moments, having someone say something like that as an adult, to myself now, and go, oh, interesting, I reckon that would have really impacted my little mind when I was a small boy. But I'm really fucking happy living the life that I've always wanted. Finally, though, at the same time, though, I'm telling you to be careful of those that give advice and giving advice yourself, while at the same time, this podcast is obviously kind of giving you advice. But I would just say, be careful of what you repeat to others. Careful what you say to others, especially young kids. And especially yourself. Careful of the words that you repeat to yourself. Careful of the words that you internalize. Because you don't have to fight every day for everything. You don't have to make anything of yourself. You just have to exist. That's the podcast, mate. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope there was something in there that like, tickled your brain box. I hope that it was good. I hope that it was somewhat helpful. I'm just trying to unravel some things. I'm just trying to undo some expectations that I've had on myself my entire life. I'm just trying to dislodge some phrases that have really stuck themselves in there. It's funny how the power of words at the right time can have such an impact on you. Be well, mate. Keep making stuff. Focus on community. Focus on those around you. And just exist. You're not an individual, you're part of a larger world, part of a community, and we're all allowed to just be. Catch you in the next one, mate.